nines. I hope you've had a good month so far. This is your mid-month, or rather end-of-month, messages for the month of November 2019 and moving into December 2019. I do hope that so far it's been a lovely month, and I will try moving into next year to get these readings out a little bit sooner if I continue these readings. That really is dependent on, I guess, you guys, on the viewers of this channel, whether or not I continue these life path number readings. So let me know if that's something you'd like to continue. And if you'd like to know anything else about me or this channel, you can check out the description for that information. You can also find out a little bit about your life path number. And if you didn't know how to find your life path number, there is a link in the description to a video about that, and I will be making a better video soon. And if this reading is not necessarily resonating with you, then I would recommend checking your birth chart and your name chart and seeing if there is a number that shows up the most, and then checking out the reading for that, or readings depending on which numbers show up the most. Okay, so let's get started with your life path number reading. As usual, I am going to ask for your overall message. As you may have noticed, we're doing it a little bit differently, where I've already pulled out the cards for you. That is just to save all of us a little bit of time. So what is the overall guiding message for those with a life path number of 9 for the rest of the month of November and moving into December 2019? For those with a life path number of 9 for the month of November, what is their overall guiding message for this month, moving into December, from November 2019 to December 2019, for those with a life path number of 9? You have a 2. So I look at the number that I see on top here. This is a time for you to evolve, 9. Tap into your creative energy in order to bring growth and change into your life. Okay, so this is a time to get creative. This is a time to really push yourself to do something very different from what maybe you're used to. So let's see what your direct message is. You got 2 cards this time that wanted to come out. So this is the card I was trying to pull. This is the card that made its way out first instead. And so this happened to be your secondary message. So what is your direct message for November? Listening for truth. This comes out to a 9, so I think this is listening to the truth inside of you and your soul. This is all about you. This is all about hearing beyond the surface, if that makes any sense. So let's see what your second message is. Sacred Fool. Again, it's all about doing things your own way. The Sacred Fool asks you to kind of be aware of whether or not you're trying to control the situation too much, or whether someone else is trying to control the situation or control you, whether there's like manipulation involved, whether there's dishonesty involved, whether you're actually doing what is meant to be done for you, or you're doing something because you think it's supposed to be done. This is telling you to try to figure out the truth of that, and be very aware of whether or not someone is trying to manipulate you for this month. And then we have your soul message. So this is what's going on in your soul, what your spirit is trying to bring to the surface. And it usually speaks to kind of the soul journey you've been on. So what is your soul message for November 2019? The Hanging Man. So you have the Hanging Man here in this position. And I feel like with this guy, it's like you are feeling kind of judged almost. Like you're in this position where you're not really sure which way to go or what steps you have to take, because someone else's influence is there. Like people are watching you, people are judging you, people are saying, can you not, are you gonna move forward, are you gonna do better? And you kind of feel like almost you're putting on a show. I don't know why that particular phrase stuck out to me, but it feels like you're putting on a show, and you are kind of trying to cut off the excess bits of okay, so for example, you're doing, this is like a very specific real world example. If you're doing a show, you are going to workshop it, and as you workshop it, other people are going to be watching you step by step, and they're going to give their opinions, and you're going to take those opinions, and then you're going to cut the show down or add something to the show or move things around based on their opinions. Whether or not you trust yourself in the situation, I think is something that you're struggling with. I think there's something here that you just don't really see, and you're in danger of being so focused on what everybody else is thinking that you're not really able to take steps for yourself, and that there's something that's just not clear to you because you're so focused on everybody else's viewpoints or ideas, or how they would change things, how they would fix things, and you're just kind of trying to trim the fat here for the good of everyone, I think. But I feel like you may not be moving in the right direction spiritually. You may be too focused on outside influences. Okay, so let's see what is going on in your subconscious. This is your heart and mind messages. So this is just what your subconscious is trying to bring to the surface. And you have the Ace of Swords. Yes. So I think, if I'm remembering correctly, the book for this card says to be careful of your words, that hurting other people, you can't hurt another person without hurting yourself, right? So if you have a tendency to be sharp worded, or to even think kind of negative things about yourself, about other people, because even though this technically speaks to how you speak with other people, I often feel like it's more about what's going on in your head and how you're speaking to yourself, especially because this has fallen in your thoughts and mind. And I feel like those of you out there, you may be talking to yourself very sharply, and that could be positive. That could be you just motivating yourself, you telling yourself that this is what you need to do for the betterment of yourself, for the betterment of all. Or it could be that you're telling yourself you're not good enough, or that you can't trust yourself because everybody else has ideas about what you need to do. And at a deep soul level, you want their approval. You want other people to guide you, even though you know logically that this is something that your growth, your path, whatever this is that you're evolving into, that's in your control. That's not for other people. So I think in your head, you're just kind of having a lot of sharp words for yourself. You're kind of just putting yourself in this place where either you are stressing yourself out because you're pushing yourself so much, or you're just not necessarily listening very well to what's going on internally. You're more focused on the logical. You're more focused on trying to, like I said, get the show right for the audience as opposed to for you. So then we have your physical message. This could be your finances, your career, your relationships. Those don't have to be romantic. Your job, your health, etc. Anything that's going on the surface that you need to know about for the month of November in your physical message. You have the Six of Cups. So I think in your life, you could be dealing with a relationship that's changing its form, or something that's affected you from the past. You could just be reconnecting creatively to something, because I do feel like with this message that you got here, and because I'm seeing the swords here, I do feel like this might be something that has to do with your creative energy. And that doesn't mean you have to be like a painter or a writer or a musician. Creative energy is just something everyone innately has, and we use that to create our lives. Okay, so you could be a banker, and then you come home and you have a home that's cozy for you, where you've decorated it to a way that you like, and in that time of decorating you felt nice because you were in touch with your creative energy. Okay, so like everyone has creative energy, and I think you'll be connecting with it on the physical, in the real world. Even if you're struggling with figuring out, what's the best way to make this happen, you are connecting and trying to make something happen. And for some of you, I do feel like you may be writers, or writing a play, or performers, or something that's tangible on the outside. So you're creating something that's really important to you, that's in your soul, in your spirit, and you love it, but there's just so many outside influences that you have to deal with your whole life. And that's why you're kind of stuck here listening for truth and wondering if someone else is taking control, wondering if someone else is manipulating the situation and pulling your strings. We have like two images of strings here. So someone may be pulling your strings in this situation, and you're trying to come up with ways to really pursue what matters to you, so that you can become more evolved, more connected to your spiritual self and to your spiritual path. So let's see what your support message is. This is coming from anyone you pray to or call to when you're happy, when you're sad, when you are celebrating, when you need help. This is the spiritual support message from those beings that you call upon The presence of love will always cast out fear. Okay, so you may be dealing with some fear. I feel like this is moon imagery. So again, there's something that's just unclear to you, something that you have to really, really buckle down, get grounded, and listen internally, because the thoughts in your head right now, I don't think they're reflecting the truth for you. So really try to connect yourself with what you love, with what's important to you, with what you, like that creative energy. Again, that creative energy itself is born out of love. We do things because our hearts tell us to do them. So really try to connect with that and try to find that truth. Because right now I think these thoughts that are going through your head are based on outside influences that have created this type of fear in you. So let's see what your closing comments are. These are the messages to send you through into the next month. And they sometimes will speak to your past experiences. The King of Cups, so someone that may have brought you love, or there was a sense of love. The Six of Cups, it could be a soulmate thing, it could be a childhood thing, something that you're feeling nostalgic about, something from your past again. Usually I do feel like this is speaking of the past, and maybe there was something that you loved, or someone brought love to you, like maybe a relationship began that felt really exciting and really passionate, but then it kind of cooled down a little bit, and maybe you've been thinking a lot about those changes. Could also be a passion that you had. There was possibly some loneliness or a need to take some time to step away. So maybe if it was a relationship that ended, if it was just like a creative endeavor, it was something that for some reason, even though you loved it, you stepped away from. And maybe, you did that because you wanted to learn more about it, or maybe it was because you had another issue to deal with. Maybe something unfair had happened, like you were taken away. So we have the Hermit and Justice here, as well as our Six of Cups and King of Cups. It was a love. For some of you, this was a love that went away and left you kind of lonely, and left you feeling like you were kind of used, like you didn't get justice, you didn't receive fairness, and maybe it was that whole love is blind thing. And this doesn't have to be romantic love. This could have been a friendship that you loved a lot, and they ended up kind of stepping away from you, or making it so that you had to step away for whatever reason. So let's see what your other messages are. We have another Page of Cups, the World, and Nine of Wands in reverse. I don't read reversals, and I don't leave my deck in reversals. I literally have no idea how or when these things happen. But we have Nine of Wands in reverse, so this time is coming to an end. This time of exhaustion, this time of and I feel like it's in reverse because it wants to be extra loud and saying, hey, you went through a lot, and maybe you were manipulated. Maybe someone was controlling the situation and making you feel certain ways about yourself, making you see yourself in a way that's not true to who you really are, and feeling like you're kind of stuck, and putting these thoughts in your head. And now you're just kind of thinking about that, all that experience, and you're ready to move away from that, move forward. And it, like I said, it does not have to be a romance. It could have been, but it could have been a friendship love that broke your heart. It could have been the love of a job. It could have been the love of a hobby that you had. It could be a family member. So take what resonates with you. But I do feel like whatever it was, you felt like you weren't getting justice. You did a lot of work for it, and you ended up kind of alone. You ended up learning a lot of hard lessons from this thing that was in your past. But now that time of hardship is coming to an end. The world is available to you, okay? The world, besides just saying that everything can, like, the world's in your hands, literally, for me, it also means that you're breaking away from something. You're moving into having abundance. You're moving away from whatever it was that was causing you that exhausted energy, that was making you feel like you weren't getting justice, or that you were being controlled and manipulated. And you're moving into something that's more positive for you. And I still feel like this is a very creative kind of thing, not just because of that message, but because of the cups you got. You got cups here, cups here, cups here, cups here. Cups are the suit of the heart, but they are also the suit of creativity. They are the suit of new beginnings in love. They're the suit of passion. And I feel like with this page and this king, even though you're not necessarily, I'm not feeling like there's like this extreme passion. I'm feeling like there's this gentle change that you've had to go through, that you've had to become there's something you had to become accustomed to. and it's been gentle. It's been bringing you back into this place where you are finding love again for something or someone. You're finding positivity. It's a newness, and there could be a message coming to you about that newness. Someone could be bringing you a new idea. Someone could be bringing you new love. But whatever it is, you are ready to move out and grab the world and take what it is and get away from whatever it is that was exhausting you, that was making you feel defeated, that was making you feel like you had to fight all the time, that was making you feel like you weren't being true to yourself, and that you had to put on a show for someone else, that someone was pulling your strings and you weren't being treated fairly. That is coming to an end, and something beautiful is coming out of it, okay? So I do hope that you have a beautiful month. Like I said, this is for your mid-November month moving into December, but these are timeless. So just take what works for you now and come back to this reading maybe later in a couple of months and see how it may have played out, how the situation may have played out for you. But I do feel like you have a beautiful, lovely outcome ahead of you, okay? Thank you so much, Nines, for being here. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, and amazing month. And if I don't see you before the end of the year, I hope you have a great new year. And remember always that I love you. Bye.